I've really seen a lot of zombie films in my life, but none of them was anything like this. Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage, and it's no secret that there's an absolute abundance of zombie movies today. Every once in a while there's one that brings something new to the table, but more often it's the same old stuff you've seen 100 times before. I'm very happy to say that One Cut of the Dead doesn't belong in the latter category and has a lot of cool ideas. The story revolves around a small film crew that is about to shoot a zombie movie in an old remote World War II facility. But as it turns out, there are real zombies around and all hell breaks loose. Now this doesn't sound particularly fresh, but the first and most obvious cool idea of the film is the way it is shot. Or at least the first 37 minutes of it, because those are all done in one long, continuing take. Hence the title, One Cut of the Dead. Which is something that would be impressive enough in a normal drama, for example, but in an effect-heavy and rather fast-paced zombie movie, it's even more so. The original Japanese title of Shin'ichirô Ueda's feature film debut, which he also wrote, is Kamera o Tomura na, which translates to "Don't Stop Shooting", because the in-movie director is actually quite happy about the real zombie attack, because now he's getting the emotional responses he's looking for out of his actors. And so he's keep rolling the camera. One Cut of the Dead isn't a very serious, scary zombie film. This is a horror comedy, and besides some laugh-out-loud moments, it had me smiling almost throughout. The way the film team reacts to what's happening is a lot of fun, and everyone has their own personality. Two absolute highlights were the leading girl and the one who's doing the makeup. Especially the latter becomes completely absorbed by the whole situation, growing into this badass fighting persona, which is again handled with a lot of irony and humor. Now, One Cut of the Dead has actually a lot more to show than this very entertaining 37-minute long zombie survival take, but to talk about it might also spoil some of the fun for some viewers. So if you don't want to know more, let me say that I really enjoyed the film a lot, and I would suggest it to everybody who is into horror comedies. Don't expect gruesome kills and scary thrills, but if you're looking for a clever twist on the zombie formula, this is the film to watch. So from now on I will go into possible spoilers. You have been warned. As it turns out, One Cut of the Dead isn't just a film about a film crew shooting a zombie film. It's a film about a film crew shooting a zombie film about a film crew shooting a zombie film. Yes, that's right, because after those initial 37 minutes, writer and director Shin'ichirô Ueda pulls the curtain, so to speak, and we go back to the time when what we just saw was planned. One Cut of the Dead can be divided into 3 equally long parts. The first is the one-take zombie horror film with some comedy but also some genuine bloody moments. The second part, he reveals that all the persons we just saw didn't just belong to a film crew that stumbled across a zombie attack, but they are actual actors and film people who played that film crew. What we just witnessed wasn't a real attack, but it was actually a 37-minute live television program. Now we see how that program is coming together, and we get to know the real persons behind the persons we just saw. Which is also quite interesting because they are all very different from what we got to know so far. This isn't just a clever little or actually big twist, but also necessary because as much fun as the beginning is, it's also coming very close to overstretching its potential. Now the second act doesn't feature any horror, but it's bringing more human notes into the mix, and the director in the film, the one that was constantly filming and shouting action like a maniac, is also the one in charge for the TV program. And he's the complete opposite. He's very subdued and has a lot of problems to bring everything together the way his superiors and demanding actors are wanting him to. Again, like with the first act, the freshness of the second is just about to expire, because there are a few elements that are kind of predictable, because at that point we already know how the final product of the team will look like. When we get to the third and final act, which is also the funniest one by far. Now it's time to see how the first 37 minutes actually were realized, and without spoiling it too much, not everything turned out as it was planned. This last chapter reminded me of another great Japanese film I saw a long time ago, the 1997 comedy Welcome Back Mr. McDonald, in which a late-night live broadcast of a radio drama is completely shifting and changing as it goes along. What makes One Cut of the Dead so special is its unique structure and storytelling, which opens up a very satisfying and special experience for the audience, because the audience first sees the final film in the film without knowing that it's just fiction within a fictitious film, and everything that happened has more layers to it, which isn't just highly entertaining and well crafted, but also quite fascinating from a storytelling perspective and very revealing about the way we experience stories and films. Now, elements that came across as a bit odd in the beginning makes a whole lot more sense, and you might be very surprised how much more was going on behind the scenes. In the end, it's not just a fresh take on the zombie genre, but even more so on the films about making a film branch. So in German I'd say, One Cut of the Dead ist zunächst einmal ein sehr leichtfüßiger und spaßiger Zombie-Streifen, entpuppt sich dann aber als überaus clevere Komödie und fast schon Filmstudie über das Filmemachen und Geschichten erzählen an sich. I give One Cut of the Dead 8 out of 10. It's more like 8.1, but I don't do that. So that's it for today. Like always, comment below and let me know what you think about One Cut of the Dead. Have you heard about the film? Have you even seen it maybe? You really should. You can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram simply at TheJimmyCage. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all I have to tell.